This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Night Takes Pawn, Book 1 of the Red Knight series by Martha Sweeney, to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 9, Red. I was mortified when Ryan caught me staring at him. I know men get morning wood, but I've never seen it like that. I'm not a virgin. I've had a few lovers back home, so the sight of a cock doesn't shock me. Seeing Ryan's erection, knowing that it's been months since I've had the real touch of a man, and that he's at least good-looking compared to all the slimy clients and Jagger's men, I found myself aroused. I still do as I rinse off in the shower. Other than making me feel embarrassed for looking, Ryan was a gentleman, mostly, and didn't push the issue. He did crack a joke or two, one of which alluded to me needing a cold shower to cool off and perhaps satisfy a need. The minute I was done masturbating, he came into the bathroom buck-ass naked. He did come in to relieve himself when I was under the water, but left right after. This time, Ryan didn't knock or anything, he just walked in. Ryan winked at me as he passed by. I had to leave the bathroom before I was finished just to get away from the deliberate moaning he was making. I wasn't sure if he was jerking himself off, just messing with me, or perhaps both, but I wasn't going to stick around to find out. I was already dressed when he came out of the bathroom wearing nothing but a towel. I have to admit, of all the men in this place to be stuck with, I'd rather be with him. Despite our differences, at least he hasn't hurt me like some of them. He's easy on the eyes, too, especially when his mouth isn't flapping away. There's a knock at the door and Ryan moves to answer it. I hear a few voices, but they're low enough that I can't make them out. Ryan moves to the side to allow Lynn and two other women who are carrying something to enter. Jagger wanted to offer the two of you a celebratory breakfast, Lynn reveals. She sends me a questioning glance. Thanks, Ryan returns. We need it after last night and this morning. Red has been satisfactory then, she inquires. Ryan looks to me and I hope that he understands my erratic behavior from before. Yes. Lynn looks back and forth between us. Good. I was assuming we'd have breakfast down with Jagger, Ryan adds. What do you mean? Lynn asks. Breaker definitely lied to Ryan earlier about Jagger sending him and the guys to check in on us. Someone checked on us earlier, and then there wasn't any mention of this, Ryan states. Who? Lynn questions, hiding most of her irritation. It takes Ryan a moment to answer, like he's considering on what to say. No one important, Ryan replies. He offers me a knowing glance. Very well, Lynn returns. Jagger has requested that I inform you that you have the day off to become more acquainted with each other. He's making a few arrangements for Red to join you in your new room. She'll still be expected to do her duties here when Jagger calls upon her. It sounds like Lynn has finally heard about what Jagger really has me to do to service his clients. I can't tell by the stoic expression on her face as to how she really feels about my duties. Noted, Ryan replies. Enjoy your day, Lynn says. I'll be back to let you know once your room is ready. Thanks, Ryan responds. I smile and nod appreciation. A new room could mean a new way to escape. Ryan closes the door behind them and locks it. I inspect the food and am shocked to see that it's in fact food like last night compared to the crap I've been getting. Go ahead and start, Ryan directs. I'll just be a minute. I stuff a pastry in my mouth, grabbing a glass of juice, and carry one of the trays to the bed. My attention gets caught by movement to my right, and I see a completely naked Ryan standing in the bathroom. He never bothered to close the door. Ryan hangs his towel and then saunters back into the room. I look away before he has the chance to catch me appreciating the beauty of his body. He gets dressed and then sits down on the bed opposite of the tray I'd brought over and places the other next to it. We need to talk, he states. My mouth stops chewing. It's nothing bad, he soothes. I just want to ask a few questions. A simple nod will suffice, okay? I swallow hard and contemplate on whether to agree or not, unsure what he might want. Red, he calls when I don't answer. My eyes lift to find his and my head bobs slightly before I take another bite. Did Jagger use or does he still use you as a sex slave? I wince, not sure how to answer. It was only the first client who was brought to me that I was intended to service that way. I'll change the question, Ryan states. Did he use you as a sex slave in the beginning? I nod because it was the truth. It just never turned out that way. Does he still do it? My head shakes before I take a sip of my drink. Good, Ryan replies. He uses you to kill them then. I nod again. Does he give you a weapon? My head tilts side to side, so that's a sometimes. I confirm that his guess is correct. How many have you killed? I think, and even though it isn't a yes or no answer, it's much easier to respond. Taking his hand, I start writing numbers. 1, Ryan repeats. I nod and then write another number. 3. He looks at me. Is it 1 or 3? Shit, you mean 13? I nod. The expression on his face changes as he takes a few bites of food. Ryan's eyes suddenly appear far away, deep in thought. I continue to eat, waiting for more questions. Did Breaker do this to you? Ryan's arm extends out and his thumb softly caresses the skin under my eye. I'm unable to respond other than a tear that trickles down my cheek. Do you know why he did it? Ryan searches, turning me to face him again since I turned away. My head bobs side to side. He didn't tell you, but you're pretty sure as to why? Ryan states rhetorically. I set the glass that is in my hand on the tray and then lift my now empty hand back up toward my neck. With a single motion, I drag my index finger across my neck from left to right, all while shaking my head, and then point to him. Next, I point to the door to indicate Breaker coming in, and with gestures and the use of my body, I do my best to reenact some of what happened between Breaker and me when I tried to kill him, and the times when I tried to run. Ryan nods but doesn't comment. I see a little bit of rage burning in his eyes. Were they there with Breaker when you jumped him? I nod. So, Breaker doesn't like either of us, Ryan comments. My brows furrow, but he doesn't explain what he meant by us. Has Jagger hurt you? I shake my head. Good, Ryan says. We continue to eat without words until all of the food is gone. I've noticed that only your room is locked from the outside, Ryan states. I nod, knowing from the 4 times I've been out of this room, the 4th being last night, that I've noted the same detail. Prior to the party, there were only 3 other times I managed to get out of my room, visiting Jagger in his office and then 2 times when I attacked the guards, trying to flee when they were removing a body. I didn't get very far because someone was always able to grab me. Both times, I was beaten for trying to get away. Have any of the guys, Jagger's guys, forced themselves on you? Ryan checks with a deep, cold tone. I shake my head with an expression that I would rather die fighting them off before giving them the chance to succeed. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.